Hey everyone, welcome back to the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. My name is Safia and today I'm going to be sharing a card I'm making using Pinkfresh Studio's Amazing Things stamp set and dies. And I'm also going to be using the Make-A-Wish arch labels by Spellbinders. I think these are so pretty and I had to pick those up. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is stamp the giant flower in that set on some vellum. I thought it'd be fun to try a different technique today or to show you something new. And so I'm going to stamp this in VersaMark clear ink, and then I'm going to emboss it with some white embossing powder. So first thing we're going to do is just ink up that stamp. And the nice thing about the Misty is that it just holds everything right in place. I just got it and I'm super excited about using it. So once it's stamped on, you can see it if you kind of shine some light on there. I'll show you a better, there it is. That's how it looks. And then I'm just going to sprinkle my embossing powder all over that vellum and then turn it over and dust off anything that I see that's extra. Now I have a little piece there, so I'm just using a paintbrush to kind of brush that off. In the end, I kind of realized it wouldn't have mattered because I'm going to die cut it anyway, but it's still nice to just keep it clean, right? And so here I am just embossing it, and it looks so cool as it turns white. So there is the final image. So then now I'm going to start coloring it, and I've just flipped it over, and I'm going to color it like how I would have colored it on paper. So I'm using BG78 as my first color, and I'm trying to match it to that paper I have in the corner because that's going to be my background. So I'm using BG78 at the bottom. My mid-tone here is BG75. And the final color that I'm going to use is BG72. So it's still going to look like it has blended flowers. And if you feel like after you turn it over that it doesn't look right or it's not dark enough, just feel free to go over it a second time. I thought mine looked pretty good. There was just one flower there that I wasn't liking, and so I went over that. And then for my flowers, I wanted to do that brown flower that's kind of towards the left-hand corner. And so I'm using E18 to do my shadow and just lay it at the bottom of the leaves. And then I'm using E19 as my mid-tone. I wanted to just show you that E19 is kind of lighter than E18, which is weird because usually it gets darker, but in this situation, E19 is darker than E18, so I used it as the mid-tone, and then E15 just to finish it off. And look how pretty that's looking. So it's going to go on white, and so that's how it's going to look at the end. For the final flower, I'm going to go ahead and try to use that pink flamingo color. And so I'm starting with R27 there, blending it out with R22, and then for my last color, R21. I kind of thought the R21 was a little bit light after I added that in, and so I did go over that just a little bit more with the mid-tone color to make it look a little bit darker. And so the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is use the coordinating die and run it through my die cutting machine. I'm also going to use the second arch label there and run that through in white. So here I am, I'm back, and now we're going to start to assemble this card. Look how pretty that looks, you guys. I think it turned out so nice. To give it a little bit of more detail, I used some green ink on that arch and just kind of blended the color around the frame there. I wanted to, I thought it looked really nice with the white, and I didn't have a size up in this. The size up would have took up the entire card. So I just did some green on that frame just to give it a little bit of an extra detail on there. So now we're gonna stamp the greeting, and for the greeting I used "I'm so blessed to call you my friend," and then I'm just gonna cut that out in a rectangle. And now we're gonna start to assemble the card. So I've just got a standard A2 card base there, and I'm just trying to get all of the little creases out. We're gonna put the designer paper or the pattern paper on next. So for that, I'm just using my liquid glue. You can use also a tape runner, but for me, it's just always nice to be able to move it around because I always seem to get it wrong when I glue it down there. So there's my liquid glue. As soon as I feel like it was on properly, I just went ahead and pushed that down. Now I'm using a scrap that I had from that paper to kind of give like a pink border at the bottom. And then we're gonna put the arch on with some liquid glue as well. I tried not to go on the frame part of it, just to kind of make it look like it's standing up a bit. And then for the flower, I'm using some foam squares, the mini ones, and I'm just gonna stick them down in places that I feel are really dark and that are not gonna show through the vellum. I really wanted that flower to kind of stick up a little bit, so I'm not putting those foam squares everywhere, just in a couple of spots there, and the rest of it's gonna kind of look like it's floating. So just removing the backings for those, and I'm gonna put that right in the middle of that arch. And I think that turned out so nice. For the greeting, I'm gonna put it right there, but before I do that, I felt like it needed a little something. So I took just a tiny strip of dark green paper and made it look like, you know, there's a ribbon or something in behind that greeting. And then I'm just trimming that where I want it, lining it up just to see if it's gonna look good. And then we are just gonna glue that on. So just putting some tape runner on the back and then lining it up with that ribbon piece, if you wanna call it. And then I'm gonna put the greeting on foam squares as well, just so it's not looking so flat on there and it looks kind of like it's floating. I did put 4, which seems like a lot, but I really wanted to make sure that it was standing up properly. So there, I'm just putting that on, and then I kind of realized it looks a little weird covering that border, so I just snip that off, and actually later I snip off the end of the other side there too. So I just finished it off with some sequins, and that is my card for you today. I hope you've enjoyed that technique. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you've liked that, and also be sure to check out some of our other designers and see what they're up to. Thanks for watching today, friends. Have a good day. Bye.